Welcome to the Groove Guide podcast. I'm Earl, your host, and here with me is Mariam, our amazing guest.
Hi, it's so great to be here. I am really excited to get into this stack of research we've got today.
You know, it's funny. Usually when we start these deep dives, we're all about the future. We're looking at, the next big thing in tech or biohacking 2.0.
Right, the cutting edge.
Exactly. But today, looking at this material, we're actually doing the opposite. We're going back. Way back, about 5,300 years in the past.
All the way up to the Ötztal Alps.
And the freezing cold on the border of Austria and Italy. We're starting with the Iceman.
Ötzi.
Ötzi, yeah. Most people know him as the mummy they found in the glacier back in the 90s. And all the headlines are usually about, the copper axe or the tattoos or the arrow that killed him.
Of course. The dramatic stuff.
But the source material we have focuses on something much quieter, something he was carrying. These two little lumps of fungus threaded on leather strips.
Piptoporus botulinus, the birch polypore.
Right. And for so long, archaeologists were just, scratching their heads about this. Was it for fire? A talisman, maybe?
Some kind of charm.
But the modern consensus, in what our research is saying, is that Ötzi wasn't carrying a fire starter. He was carrying a pharmacy.
It just completely changes how you view prehistoric life, doesn't it? I mean, we know he had intestinal parasites, whipworm, and that birch polypore contains oils that are toxic to those parasites, and it's a powerful laxative. So he was treating his own gut health 5 millennia ago.
And that is the whole pivot point for today's deep dive. We think gut health and functional mushrooms are these new Instagram buzzwords.
Very trendy, yeah.
But the data shows this is ancient wisdom. We're just now finally validating it with microscopes. We're not just asking, does this mushroom fix a stomachache anymore? It's way more complex.
It's about the interaction, the negotiation, really, between the fungi you eat and the, trillions of microorganisms running your internal ecosystem.
So let's break that mechanism down then. The word prebiotic is thrown around all the time. I think most people just hear fiber. But it's more specific, right?
It is.
So if you had to explain this to, say, a 5-year-old or maybe just a tired adult without a biology degree, how did these mushrooms actually, upgrade your gut?
Okay, the best way to think about it is to imagine your gut is this huge, bustling factory. It's dark, it's busy, and you've got trillions of tiny workers. Your microbiota.
Okay.
Now, when you eat something simple, like a piece of white bread, that food gets broken down and absorbed way, way before it ever reaches the factory floor deep in your colon.
So the guys at the end of the line are just, left starving?
Exactly. They have nothing to do. But mushrooms, they're different.
Yeah.
Their cell walls are made of things like chitin, beta-glucans, polysaccharides. Think of them as these incredibly complex, tough puzzle boxes.
Puzzle boxes, I like that.
And our bodies, our human enzymes, we don't have the keys to open these boxes. We just can't digest them.
Which, that sounds like a bad thing. Like it's just going to pass right through and cause problems.
It would if you were in there alone, but you're not. So when these mushroom puzzle boxes slide all the way down to the lower intestine, those trillions of hungry workers, the good bacteria, they just light up because they do have the keys. They swarm these fibers. They unlock them. It's a feast for them.
So that's the transaction. We bring the feast, and in return, they give us what?
They pay the rent. As they break down and ferment these fibers, they release byproducts. And the most important ones are short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs.
SCFAs?
You can think of SCFAs as the high-octane fuel that powers the cells lining your colon. It's like premium gas for your gut wall.
And the research mentioned that this helps prevent leaky gut.
Right. So imagine the factory walls have cracks in them. Toxins are leaking out into the bloodstream, causing inflammation all over the body. SCFAs are like the cement that patches up those cracks. They reinforce the whole barrier.
So you feed the bacteria, and they build you a fortress. This is a symbiotic loop.
That's it, exactly.
But, the sources go deeper. They point out that different mushrooms affect different teams of bacteria. There was one study in here on Ganoderma lucidum reishi that I found fascinating. It was about specific ratios.
The firmicutes to bacteroid dates ratio, yes.
Gesundheit. But seriously, those are the two main families of bacteria, right?
They are, the two dominant phyla, and the balance between them is absolutely crucial. And that study showed that reishi can actually act as a modulator. It can flip that ratio.
Ow.
It specifically seems to decrease the firmicutes while boosting the bacteroid dates.
And why should someone listening care about these Latin names? Why does having less firmicutes even matter?
It matters for your waistline. I mean, this is one of the most consistent findings in all of microbiome research. A high level of firmicutes is very often linked with obesity.
Really?
Yeah, these bacteria are just incredibly efficient at extracting calories from food. They squeeze every last drop of energy out of what you eat, and then your body stores that as fat.
Wait, so you could eat the exact same meal as someone else, but if your firmicutes are high, you're actually absorbing more calories from it.
Precisely. It's an efficiency problem you don't want. Bacteroidetes, on the other hand, they're linked with leaner body types. So the research suggests reishi helps force a kind of regime change in the gut.
It's tipping the scales back toward a leaner metabolic profile.
Yes, by feeding the bacteria you want more of.
The notes called the gut a metabolic bridge to the liver. That phrase really stuck with me.
That's a great analogy. If the gut is inflamed or unbalanced, it sends these noisy, stressful signals across that bridge. The liver gets confused, it starts storing fat when it shouldn't.
And that leads to things like fatty liver disease.
Or insulin resistance. Reishi seems to help clear up that signal. It quiets the noise so the liver can just do its job.
Okay, so reishi is the metabolic regulator. But the big four list in our sources, it pivots from the stomach right to the brain, the gut-brain axis.
It's getting so much attention right now, and for good reason.
And the mushroom leading that charge is definitely lion's mane.
Hericium arenaceous. It's such a beautiful fungus. It doesn't even look like a mushroom, more like a waterfall of white icicles.
Or a pom-pom. It's so visually striking. But chemically, it's even more unique.
It contains these two classes of compounds you just don't find elsewhere, hericinones and arenacenes. And the research is so clear that these are some of the only known natural compounds that can cross the blood-brain barrier and stimulate nerve growth factor, NGF.
And nerve growth factor, I mean, it does what it says on the tin. It helps neurons grow and repair themselves.
It does. It's vital for maintaining brain cells. But for our discussion, the really interesting part is how it uses the gut to help the brain. It's not just about compounds going straight to your head.
Right.
By reducing inflammation in the gut, lion's mane calms the signals traveling up the vagus nerve.
Which is the main highway, the telephone line between the gut and the brain.
Exactly. If your gut is metaphorically on fire, the vagus nerve is screaming, "Crisis! We are in crisis mode!" up to the brain. And that feels like anxiety or brain fog or stress.
So lion's mane is like a fire extinguisher for the gut.
Which clears the line. The brain stops getting those panic signals and can actually focus. It reinforces that you can't treat the head in isolation.
The two are one system. Okay, shifting gears. The third one in the stack. You walk into any health food store and see immune support plastered everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And the mushroom that's the heavyweight champion for that in all the literature is turkey tail.
Trametes versicolor, and it's
Yeah.
called that because the colorful stripes on it look exactly like a turkey's fanned-out tail. And you're right, in terms of sheer clinical data, this is probably the most researched mushroom on the planet.
I was actually shocked to read that this isn't just, wellness folklore. This is used in actual hospitals.
Specifically in Japan, yeah. Since the 1970s, an extract from it called PSK, or Crestin, has been an approved prescription drug used right alongside chemotherapy.
That's a massive endorsement. So how does it work? Is it attacking bad cells directly?
Not quite. It's an immunomodulator. It's more like a drill sergeant for your own body's army. Your gut is home to a huge amount of immune tissue called the GALT. When you consume turkey tail, its compounds, these polysaccharopeptides, PSP and PSK, they interact directly with the immune cells right there in the gut lining.
So it's running a boot camp for your white blood cells?
That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
It wakes them up. It increases the activity of your natural killer cells, your macrophages. It just ensures that when a real threat shows up, your immune system is alert and ready, not sluggish.
It leverages the gut to protect the whole body. It's incredible.
It is.
Which brings us to the last of the big four. The one that technically isn't even a mushroom, chaga.
Inonotus obliquus, often called the king of mushrooms. Even though you're right, it looks more like a lump of burnt charcoal bursting out of a birch tree.
A sterile conch, a canker. It's basically a parasite on the tree.
It is. But that parasitic nature is actually why it's so powerful. It spends years concentrating nutrients from the host tree. Specifically, it pulls a compound called becalin from the birch bark and converts it into becalinic acid.
And the sources frame chaga as a shield. If reishi regulates and lion's mane repairs, chaga protects.
Think of it as the ultimate bodyguard for the gut lining. It's incredibly dense in melanin.
Which we normally think of as skin pigment.
In this context, it's a super powerful antioxidant. That, combined with other compounds like inatodiol, makes chaga just fantastic for soothing gastric inflammation. It's known to have anti-ulcer properties. It just lowers the stress on those factory walls we talked about.
So we got reishi for metabolism, lion's mane for the brain, turkey tail for immunity, and chaga for protection. It's a powerhouse lineup. But I have to play devil's advocate for a second here.
Please do.
I'm listening to this, and I'm thinking about someone who's maybe on a budget. They hear chaga, lion's mane, and they immediately think, great, 4 different $50 powders that taste like dirt.
Right. This isn't for me.
Yeah, there's this perception that to get these benefits, you have to buy the rare exotic stuff from, I don't know, the Himalayas.
That is the single biggest myth in this entire industry, and I'm so glad we can just bust it right now.
Let's do it.
You do not need to spend a fortune on rare extracts. The functional label is not just reserved for the weird-looking things deep in the forest. It applies to the produce aisle in your local grocery store.
So we're talking about, like, white button mushrooms,
Mm-hmm.
criminis, the stuff on a pizza.
Absolutely. The research specifically calls out the oyster mushroom, Pleurotus austratus, and the humble portobello agaricus bisporus.
The big ones you throw on the grill.
The very same. The data shows that these culinary mushrooms are rich in chitin and specific phenolic compounds that act as selective antimicrobials.
Selective. What does that mean?
It means they're smart. They tend to inhibit the growth of the bad guys, the pathogenic bacteria, while also providing the exact fiber structure that the good bacteria love to eat. So just by eating a portobello burger, you are performing a prebiotic intervention.
That is such a relief. It makes the whole concept so much more accessible.
It democratizes it.
You don't need a specialty shop. You just need dinner, which actually is a perfect transition to this really cool case study I found in the stack, functional gastronomy.
Oh, the Guadalajara's grill example. I love this.
Yes. G Grill in Tucson. It's so rare to see a scientific paper analyzing a specific Mexican restaurant menu. They looked at dishes like a lobster stuffed portobello and chori queso with mushrooms.
I mean, it sounds delicious, but from a nutritional science perspective, it's actually kind of brilliant.
So what's happening there? Usually we think health food is a sad salad, but this is rich, heavy food.
When you eat that whole portobello, you're getting what the researchers call a whole food matrix. When you take a supplement, you're getting an isolated compound. But with the whole food, you get the fiber, the minerals like potassium and selenium, plus the protein and fats from the other ingredients.
And why does the matrix matter?
It's about timing. The fiber in the mushroom slows everything down. It allows for a steady release of all the nutrients and ensures those precious fibers actually make it all the way down to the colon where they're needed most.
So in the chori queso example, which is usually a total gut bomb, the mushrooms are mitigating the damage.
You're balancing the equation. You're adding the prebiotic fuel right alongside the fats. It's a buffer. It proves that supporting your microbiome doesn't mean eating bland food. It means adding functional ingredients to the food you already love.
It's about addition, not just subtraction. That's a huge takeaway.
It is.
So we've covered ancient history, biochemistry, the big four. We've planned dinner. But if someone wants to start tomorrow, what's the single most actionable step? What's the strategy?
The strategy is called synergistic modulation.
Okay, that sounds like it's from a sci-fi movie. Let's unpack that.
It's just a fancy term for a really simple concept. Diversity. Don't put all your mushrooms in one basket.
So don't just take a Reishi capsule every day for the next 5 years and call it a day.
Correct. Think of your gut like a rainforest. Our rainforest is healthy because it has thousands of different species. If you only feed your gut one type of fiber, say only the beta-glucans from reishi, you're only feeding one specific type of bacteria. You end up creating a monoculture.
And a monoculture is fragile. One bad bug comes in and the whole system collapses.
Exactly. You want a resilient, diverse ecosystem, so you need dietary diversity. The puzzle pieces in a portobello are shaped differently than the ones in turkey tail. They require different bacteria with different keys to unlock them.
So by rotating them, you keep the whole workforce employed and happy.
You do. Have a portobello steak one night for the chitin. Maybe put some lion's mane powder in your coffee for the Harrisinones. Throw shiitakes in a stir fry. The goal is just to feed the gut diverse structures. When you do that, your bacteria produce a wider variety of beneficial signals, a whole spectrum of postbiotics.
Synergistic modulation. It's not about the one magic pill. It's about building the whole team.
It's a team sport. Precisely.
Well, this has been an absolute blast. I mean, from the frozen Alps to a grill in Tucson, I feel like I have a completely new appreciation for the entire fungal kingdom.
It's so much more than just a pizza topping.
It's an ancient technology that's basically running our internal hardware.
It really is. It has been such a pleasure diving into all this with you.
Now, before we let you go, I do have to say this. This podcast is for educational purposes. If you're pregnant or thinking about trying something new, always consult with your doctor first.
Always good advice.
And for everyone listening, if you want to dive even deeper into this stuff, check us out at grooveguide.io for products and GrooveGuide TV for blogs and videos. There's a ton more info there.
And maybe some of those mushroom recipes.
Definitely. Thanks for listening, everyone. Stay curious and feed those good bugs.